Hey folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Mag Warriors Balesword magnetic action figure. Now, Balesword is part of the second wave of Mag Warriors by Mega Bloks. This particular one came out around 2006. And if you've seen my other videos of Mag Warriors, those previous ones were Wave 1. And a couple changes went into Wave 2. In the second wave, they moved to cheaper packaging. The first wave was a hard plastic shell. And now with Wave 2, they moved to the typical action figure cardboard packaging and plastic packaging. Also in Wave 2, Mega Bloks has actually moved away from the Western themed or medieval themed warriors, and they moved to different cultures in the second wave. They've got like a Viking culture, and with this Balesword, an Asian themed culture, and more specifically a samurai warrior. If you take a closer look at the package here, you can see the samurai influence in the design. What's funny is that for an Asian themed warrior, he has a Western styled name, so that was kind of interesting. And on the side of the package here, they have the build and battle, what comes with the figure. You got a samurai slicer, imperial banner, and Hanzu pike staff. And you can definitely see that it's Japanese with the sun symbol there. On the other side, you got the statistics, which I was never familiar with, the defense and attack statistics. If it was on their website, it's no longer there. Looking at the back of the package, you can see other figures from Wave 2. You have a Hero Tengu. See, this is a more Eastern-styled name, and he looks like a ninja. Destreader, a typical Western-styled warrior here. Atrox, which is more of a Nordic or Viking warrior here. And then you have 4 sets here. 2 of them are basically figures that have been repainted, but with a new set added into it. Doomsgate and Dark Portal. And then you have 2 sets here with mounts, Splinter Skull and Trudge Crawler. So let's go ahead and open up Balesword, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and Balesword is out of the package. First thing we'll take a look at here is the assembly sheet. With Wave 2, they've done away with the nice diorama. They just went straight to the assembly instructions right here, and a visual checklist of all the items to construct your Mag Warrior. With Wave 2, I noticed that they've put the hinge joints together for you, so you don't have to assemble at the elbow and knee anymore. But you still have to put in the ball joints of the hands and feet on there. And the other side is basic warnings about the battery in several different languages on there. The next thing we'll take a look at is the metal base. It's pretty much the same design as the previous wave on there, and you have the statistics for the different maneuvers and attacks and defenses with your defense score and your offense score on there. Next thing we'll take a look at here is the pike, but I don't really consider this a pike because it's about half of the length of what it really should be to be considered a pike. It's just, this thing's just too short to be a pike, at least too short for this scale. It's made of a harder plastic, so it's not prone to bending unless it was bent beforehand. So I mean, you could still bend it, but it'll still retain its original shape, which is kind of neat. And the next item we'll take a look at is the banner on here. You can see it's got that Japanese theme on here with the sun symbol. Mine had a little dirt on here, I had to scratch off, but I was able to remove the dirt completely. And basically it just snaps into a clasp on the back of the figure. You can see right here. Now they have two clasps, one on the left, one on the right. And they did away with the peg holes, so I don't know if Mega Bloks abandoned that idea, because I don't know what those peg holes were used for. There were no accessories to put stuff into those holes. But taking a look at here is the sword. He actually grips it well, grips it a little too well. It's pretty hard to take in and out of his hand, so I'm just going to leave it in his hands for now. But if you want to take a look at some of the detail, there's some simulated wrapping of the hilt on there. Basically it's just plastic mold lines. And then you got the blade here, nice and straight. It's harder plastic, so it doesn't bend easily on there. And taking a look at the Mag Warrior Balesword himself, I really like the helmet design on this, especially the headdress on there. I think it's actually pretty detailed on there, nice and detailed, and it's got it's got some like simulated weave patterns going, you know, like what do you call it, bamboo leaf type weaving on the back there. One thing I noticed about the second wave of figures, that Mega Bloks not only went cheaper on the packaging, they've actually went cheaper on the construction of the figure. The first wave of figures, they're made of heavier plastic or metal on the body and limbs. With second wave, it's definitely cheaper plastic. As a result, it doesn't have that heft that the first wave of figures had, which is kind of unfortunate. It's still detailed. You can see all the sculpting on the limbs throughout, but you can just definitely tell if you had put these guys side by side that second wave figures definitely cheaply made. And it still has different colors of paint on there, but you just can really tell visually that this is not as better constructed, or at least they didn't put as much effort into the detail and materials on there. But I still like these figures because they're great to pose on there. They don't really have too many wobbly joints, if any wobbly joints on there. You can put them in nicest positions. One thing they did away with is the shoulder armor as well. They don't have that anymore as well. But these are great for like stop motion, if you're inclined to do that kind of stuff, or dioramas. It's just great to pose. Oh, and the feature here, the battery is there's still some battery life on this. So the light up features in the helmet, if you press down on a button on the top of his head, his eyes light up on there. So I think that's kind of neat. So, but that's my casual peek into the Balesword magnetic Mag Warrior. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.